Elk Grove, and welcome to the first student-produced episode of EGU
EGU
News.
News.
I'm Harpreet.
And I'm Sangeetha. This week, EGU News will be remotely produced by the TJTV students of Toby Johnson Middle School.
In the week we get back from spring break, the students from Spartan News at Sunrise Elementary will be remotely producing EGU News.
Hey Harpreet, do you know what TJTV and Spartan News have in common?
As a matter of fact, I do, Sangeetha. Both of our studios are Sivas studios that were created in partnership with SECC.
That's right. We love SECC, not only because of their dedication to helping students and teachers bring video production into their classrooms, but also because of the awesome county-wide competition they host every year called the Sivas.
Sivas stands for Student Educational Video Awards, and it's kind of like the Academy Awards, but for student-created videos.
This year, because of the need for social distancing, the Sivas are being produced in a new and super high-tech way.
They've reimagined how to keep the Sivas spectacular, so they're having a week-long celebration to showcase student educational videos to the Sacramento community.
Beginning on Monday, April 13th, tune into Comcast Channel 15 or stream from secctv.org to watch the 12 finalists from each category, as they're announced at 4 p.m. nightly, leading up to the big night itself on Sunday, April 19th.
You can go to secctv.org/RSVP to receive updates.
Don't forget to use hashtag Siva Awards on your social media posts.
For the past few weeks, our schools have been closed and the state has asked everyone to stay home.
Let's see how people feel about the school closures and the lockdown.
With schools and activities all over the nation being closed due to COVID-19, people at home can get bored. However, some people have found creative ways to spend their time even when they don't have to go to school or any other activities and stay at home.
I can't go to some of the places I used to go, like going to the park, and that because there might be many people there, and that I also can't get together for a lot of activities like track at my school or running for red or like math competitions or helping in the library for service points. I can't do any of that anymore because of the social distancing, so that we can't gather together in a group.
So right now, as I'm home, I'm trying to find little things to do, like mop my kitchen floor, do the dishes, draw, and do stuff like that to try to keep myself occupied, since for me, I feel like school is kind of like a place to go to learn and do something.
I'm learning French and I do some math too. And I can also get better at chess because I haven't been able to play in a long time. So that's good. And I can also spend time with my brother.
It's good to see that people have many ways to spend their time efficiently, and that time is not wasted. Reporting for TJTV, I'm Ethan Ho.
Now let's check in with Zanthi Pinkerton and Sandeep Dosanjh for our latest district update.
Thank you, Harpreet. Hello, Elk Grove Unified students, families, and staff. I'm Santhi Pinkerton, Communications Director for the Elk Grove Unified School District.
And I'm Sandeep Dosanjh, also from the Elk Grove Unified Communications Department.
We're here to provide you with today's district update and county and state updates.
First, with the district update. As we prepare to provide instruction remotely and online, students will need a computer-type device and an internet connection for online access to the EGUSD distance learning platform. Devices you currently have at home that connect to the internet should be sufficient for student work.
That's correct. So for example, your devices can be a Windows PC, Mac, Chromebook, Linux PC, or even possibly an iPad. But starting April 1st through April 9th, 2020, Elk Grove Unified School District staff will check out Chromebooks to students that need a device for distance learning. We are asking families to only check out EGUSD Chromebooks if you really need one. The Chromebooks that you check out will require internet connectivity to work as well.
Okay, so will my smartphone work?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. We've been getting some of those questions. And well, technically an Android or an iPhone can connect to a Google product. It's just that for the learning environment, it's a little more cumbersome. So can they work? They can. They're just not ideal. And so what we're asking is for at least a computer type of a device with a keyboard. That would be optimal.
Okay, well, what about my Google tablet? You mentioned an iPad working, but I don't have an iPad.
That's a good question. So if you have a tablet that's like an iPad or some kind of a tablet device, those should work as well too. As long as they have internet connectivity and you can access the Google Classroom that's through the Student View Classroom link, then you should be good to go.
Okay, so one other question I have, I understand that Chromebooks are available, so does that mean every student in the district can get a Chromebook to use?
That's a good question also. So we really want to make sure that those who really need them first, they're the ones who are able to go and check them out. Right now, we'll have to take an assessment and see if everyone is covered in terms of their own devices. And really for those who need a device, they're the ones who we want to make sure are able to come in and get a device. We'll have an update later on once we start the deployment as to how many more Chromebooks might be available.
Okay.
So let's talk about the Chromebook checkout distribution plan. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is very important information to get out.
Okay, so what you must bring to check out a Chromebook are the following. Student must be present in a car with you to receive the device. Now I'm talking to parents. So your student must be present in the car to receive device. And it's one student maximum, or sorry, one per student maximum. Also, you'll need a student ID card for each student. So if you don't have a student ID card, please make sure you know the student ID number and name of teachers. That's critical.
One other question, if I am a parent and I never seen a student ID card, where can I find the student ID number?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Oftentimes you can find a student ID number either on a report card or there's some other district official mail that's come through, usually through a report card. It could also be on a some kind of enrollment form that you might have brought home when enrolling your student into their courses or into their schedule. Even a class schedule, if you have an old class schedule, usually their student ID is on there.
And the secondary school students, their email address to log on to their student view is of their student ID number. So that's another little helpful hint there.
Very good.
So dates of deployment will be from April 1st to April 9th. And to comply with county and state guidelines, we will use a drive-through style checkout system based on the first letter of your child's last name. The checkout process of Chromebooks will be done in 2 phases. First phase will be for grades 7th through 12th, and the second phase will be for grades 1st through 6th grade.
That's right. So we're going to do the checkout process first at secondary students, and then the latter part will be for elementary age students. So Chromebook checkout service will be at each of the comprehensive high schools. We'll note that in the graphics as well. But what's important is that if you live within a particular region, and you're an elementary school student, you live in the Florin region, or you live in the Franklin region, you're going to go to your region's comprehensive high school in order to check out that Chromebook. So there's 9 regions in the Elk Grove Unified School District, and again, those high schools will be listed.
So let's talk a little bit about the alternative education students. So they are going to visit a comprehensive high school as well. So if you're currently enrolled at William Daylor High School, they will go to Florin High School to check out a Chromebook. For Calvine High School, they will go to Monterey Trail High School. Las Flores, and Rio Cazadero high schools, they will check out at Valley High School. And then for Jesse Baker School students and Elk Grove Charter School students, checkout for those students will occur on those two campuses based on their schedule. So check with the school for specific schedules.
Yeah, you got it exactly right. So there's going to be, most people are going to be going to their regional comprehensive high school. And I'll remind everybody of those schools. It's Casunas Oaks High School, Elk Grove High School, Florin High School, Franklin High School, Laguna Creek High School, Monterey Trail High School, Pleasant Grove High School, Sheldon High School, and Valley High School. And just like you said, Sandeep, for the alternative education schools, just what you identified, those schools will be going to particular sites to pick up their Chromebooks. And again, the graphics will be available for people. And also, we're going to be putting this letter out to everybody. So you'll have the information, you'll see the schedule as well.
So you mentioned breaking it down by last name. So talk a little bit about that, because I know it could get a lot of students at one time if everyone decides to come right at 9 a.m.
Exactly. So here are the time and dates for checking out a Chromebook. Secondary students, this means students grades 7 through 12. Here's your schedule. April 1st, this is no joke, April 1st, grades 12 and 11. So that means seniors and juniors. Your last name starts with A to L. Your checkout time will be between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. If your last name starts with M to Z, your checkout time will be between 1:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. All right, so moving on to April 2nd for grades 10 and 9. That means our sophomores and our freshmen. If your last name starts with A through L, your time for pickup will be between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And if your name starts with M through Z, your pickup time will be 1:30 to 6 p.m. Woo,
Okay.
Sandy, take it over.
Yeah, so let's go down to the middle school students, grades 8 and grades 7 students. Last name, if you start between A through L, pickup time is between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. And if your last name starts between M and Z, the pickup time is between 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is only for secondary students in grades 7 through 12. If you have multiple students in secondary school, please come at your oldest child's time slot. Okay. If you have a child in a secondary school and an elementary school, then you will need to pick up at the secondary school's time slot, and then come again during the elementary school time slot for your elementary child.
Right, so what we're trying to do is, if you only have students in secondary, they're only middle or high school age students, you can come according to your child's the oldest child you have, to their time slot. However, if you've got a secondary and an elementary school student, we want you to go to either the secondary schedule for their secondary student, and then follow up and later in the week go to your elementary school student schedule, correct?
Yes,
very
makes perfect sense.
It's kind of tough when you have 63,000 students.
And it will all be listed out on your screen, as well as in your email and on our Facebook page. Elk Grove Unified is the handle.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the elementary students now. Grades 1 through 6. This is your schedule. So on April 7th, grades 6 and 5. So you're talking grades 6 and 5. Last name starting A through L. Your time is going to be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And again, it'll be at your regional high school. For last name starting between M through Z, the pickup time will be 1:30 to 6 p.m. Then on April 8th, my favorite day, it'll be grades 4 and 3rd. It's my favorite day because it's my birthday. Your last name starts with A through L. Your checkout time will be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if your last name starts with M through Z, your pickup time or checkout time will be 1:30 to 6 p.m.
Just give me a second to mark my calendars on the. So April 9th is for grades 2 and 1. So first and second grade students. Last names that start between A through L will begin checkout their devices from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Last names that begin with M through Z, checkout time between 1:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is only for elementary school students. If you have multiple students in elementary school, please come at your oldest child's time slot.
So again,
Betsy Baker and Elk Grove Charter students will follow those schools' process for accessing the devices. So check in with those two schools.
Oh, it's a lot of information, Cindy, but you did an awesome job, and I liked how you broke things out too. And I think everybody just please remember, please look at your emails, because we have this all broken out in an email. And really the thing is, we want to try to accommodate parents with multiple students. We understand that it can be a little complex trying to do everybody. But what we're hoping is, yeah, if you've got nothing but secondary students, middle to high school, come at that. You're the oldest child's day according to the secondary schedule. If you've got a mix between an elementary and a high school or elementary student, go to the secondary one first, and then come back later in the week for the elementary. Then if you only have elementary school students, go take all your elementary school students and go with your oldest child's schedule for whichever date that is.
Now, Zanthi, we've been getting a lot of questions about internet connectivity. Let's really talk about this now.
Sure. So if you do not have internet connectivity at home, Elk Grove Unified is working with T-Mobile to acquire hotspots for families that need it. Now, these hotspots will only work with EGUSD Chromebooks. So obtaining hotspots during the pandemic is extremely difficult, and in the quantity that, and also to get the quantity that we need. So for more information, we'll be providing more as we get closer and closer to that time and when those hotspots actually arrive.
So on your screen now is a list of suppliers offering discounted internet services for qualifying families. That includes Internet Essentials by Comcast, access from AT&T Wireless or Consolidated Communications or T-Mobile or Verizon Wireless. And another provider in our area includes Frontier Communications.
That's right. So thank you, Sandeep, for that. So this week, we're all doing long distance learning preparation. Next week, April 6th through April 10th, spring break, it's a non-instructional week. Then starting April 13th through April 15th, we're going to continue with more distance learning preparation. And then on April 16th, that's when we start secondary students with their distance learning. That's going to go all the way through May 29th. And then starting April 20th, the elementary instruction will go live with distance learning. And then the favorite date?
May 29th is the end of the school year for all students. I received a question today, Zanthi, from a B-Track student parent who was still asking about B-Track, and I had to remind the parent that there are no more tracks in effect for the rest of this school year, and the only track for elementary school students is the traditional school year track. So school returns back in session for all elementary school students on April 20th, and it continues until May 29th. So it's very important that people remember the change, and we'll continue to push that out because it is a big change for a lot of our families in the elementary school level.
Great, you made a great point, exactly. So be sure to check out also what in the meantime or in the meanwhile, be sure to check out our enrichment and fun activities at our www.egusd.net/COVID-19 or -19. And remember that social and emotional learning continues to be important, especially during this crisis.
And during the school closures, we also are still offering drive-through grab-and-go meal service. And we recently added 3 new sites, Zanthi. That includes Herberger Elementary, Marion Mix Elementary, and Irene B. West Elementary Schools. So, Zanthi, there's a lot of things people are still wondering about distance learning, and we're keeping that in mind. And coming soon, we're going to have a little story about a typical EGUSD distance learning student schedule and expectations that a teacher might have. We're also going to look around the school district to see what teachers and students are studying through distance learning. And we also are very excited to showcase arts and education. I'm sure you know, Zanti, that March is Arts Education Month. And we did have a huge celebration that was planned for this month. However, with the school closures, we are changing our original plans, and we're looking at bringing it to our EGU News viewers, as well as showcasing the fantastic work that many of our students did, but also the winners of this year's art showcase.
Absolutely. So today's broadcast was a lot of information. We really want parents and families to go to their email and to go and look at the schedule. The schools will also have this schedule sent to them. So if for some reason or other you can't find it in your email, you can email your local school and talk to somebody in the office there to ask them for that schedule. So we'll also be translating this, although did you know, Sandeep, there's a feature on our website that if you click on that Google Translate button down below at the very bottom, you can translate, you can see the whole page in another language. It's not always the best. We understand these little nuances with languages, but it's pretty good, and the schedule will also, you'll be able to find the schedule there. So, a lot of stuff today, Sandeep, a lot of good questions out there. Yeah.
So thank you for your support, and keep up with the daily communications available online at egusd.net. And remember to subscribe to the Elk Grove Unified School District's YouTube channel. I'm Sandeep Dosanjh.
And I'm Santi Pinkerton. And now we're going to toss it back over to Harpreet and Sanjisa.
We'll be coming back to the dynamic duo from our communications department later in the show for state and county news.
Now let's talk about COVID-19. We hear so much about the coronavirus, and yet some young people don't seem to understand how serious it is.
Ethan Ho from Toby Johnson Middle School has created a great public service announcement that he made in hopes of people our age understand it better.
Here's something you can do from home to help you and your family. Thanks to Sanjita from Toby Johnson Middle School for that instructional video.
All right, thank you. And let's start now with the county update. Since Friday, March 28th, there's been an increase of 60 confirmed COVID-19 cases and additional death, unfortunately, in Sacramento County.
As of March 30th at 11:30 a.m., there is a total of 224 confirmed COVID-19 cases, and the number of those who have died of complications of COVID-19 is 7 individuals. They were either age 65 and older or had underlying health conditions.
Yeah, so the county provides us with a quick overview of kind of the age categories where they're seeing fatalities. And currently, in the ages of between 0 and 17-year-olds, there's been 3 deaths. In the 18 to 64-year-old category, there's been unfortunately 140 fatalities. And in the 65 and older category, there's been 81 deaths.
There have been confirmed cases in unincorporated areas as well as in all of the cities within Sacramento County, except for Ileton.
So according to Dr. Peter Bielenson, Director of the Department of Health Services, this data tells us that regardless if we live in urban, suburban, or rural areas, it is imperative that all of us continue to stay at home as much as possible. When we absolutely must go out, whether in your neighborhood or to a grocery store, we must maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from each other.
That's right. Dr. Bielenson further advises saying that we all need to do our part to slow the spread of COVID-19. Remember, you still can go outside, just keep your distance and don't gather with others. When you are out in public, be sure to not touch your face and make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds or you use hand sanitizer after touching shared surfaces. The spread of the virus is primarily caused by human contact. It's very important to remember. This is caused by human contact, the spread of human contact. We need to keep our distance and comply with the health order to slow the spread of COVID-19.
That's right. And you can visit Sacramento County's COVID-19 website for more information and updates. So in terms of the state of California update, as of 2 p.m., March 27th, there are 4,643 positive cases and 101 deaths in California. Approximately 89,600 tests have been conducted.
And this includes the latest numbers California has received from commercial and private labs. At least 25,194 results have been received, and another 64,400 are pending. If you want more of the latest data, be sure you check California Department of Public Health. Back to you, Harpreet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harpreet. Now let's check back in with our communication department to learn about our county and state updates.
Thanks again to Zalti Pinkerton and Sandeep Dasaj for keeping our entire district informed with district, county, and state updates as we work our way through the COVID-19 pandemic.
And that's it for today's show.
Tune in to the next episode of EGU News.
I'm Sangeetha. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Harpreet. Until tomorrow, stay safe, everyone.